Hi, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, my name is Anna, and this is my very late panels, eyeshadows, and also the Expand Those Pens update. This is my second time filming this. I'm straight from work, and I could finally film this update because I tried once, and let's just say that video was not something I wanted to post online. No, it was just a mess. So I'm trying again. Hopefully this will be better, but we'll see. I'm also once again trying out a new lighting and filming situation. So let me know if you like this better or worse, or yeah, we'll just have to figure something out because it's getting a lot darker in the evenings. We don't have daylight after like 5-6 p.m. in Norway at this point. And it'll only get darker and darker, and I'll need to use some artificial lighting. But all that to say, this is going to be an exciting update, and I cannot wait to show you how I'm doing with my panels eyeshadows. I have hit pan in 3 new eyeshadows, and it's also a completely new Expand Those Pans eyeshadow selection. It's like a complete refresh. I'm rolling in 3 new ones. So if you are not already subscribed, I would love if you would do that, and also keep on watching because you will be able to see some really nice pans. So the first thing I'm going to show you, because I have realized in my past videos I haven't been swatching anything. I don't feel the need to see the eyeshadows. Like, I'm mostly, when I look at videos like this, if you have a new random color story, obviously it's very fun to see the color stories like swatched on your arm, but for me, having the same eyeshadows every single month, I never thought of doing that. And also I just forget to swatch things because I like seeing the pan expansion or the new pan or the disturbance in the eyeshadow the most, so I just forget about it. But I thought I would swatch the color story I have been working on for the last month. There's one eyeshadow missing from this little swatch party, and that is the green eyeshadow from the Alamar Cosmetics palette. But let's just pull up the clip. So here you see the first 3 eyeshadows are from my Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette. So from left to right, it's Self Love, Joy, and Cherished. Cherished is the matte pink. And then next to that is the matte brown from the Nude Light Obsessions from Huda Beauty, shade number 9. And then there's a gold eyeshadow from the Topaz Obsessions palette, that's shade number 4 in the Topaz Obsessions. And then there's another gold, and that one comes from my Too Faced Sparkling Pineapples palette. They look very similar in the swatches, but they are very different eyeshadows, very different formulas. So it's the shade Sparkling Pineapple, which is a very sparkling kind of gritty type of eyeshadow. And next to that one from the same palette is Pineapple Cooler. Then is a couple of green eyeshadows. First one is the MAC Miss Nefertiti eyeshadow from the Rose Gilded palette, and the last one is also from MAC, and it's the shade Sumptuous Olive. And those are all of the shades I've been working on for the last month. I have my statistics in front of me, and I'm just going to start with the eyeshadow that is on top in my little notes that I have in front of me, and that comes from the MAC Rose Gilded palette. And here is a clip of what it looked like in my last update, and then which side I'm going to show it on this side right here. This is what this current eyeshadow currently looks like. So no pan, but I did use it twice this month, and I've used it a total of 11 times, which won't be enough. If the other eyeshadows that I have hit pan on in this palette is anything to measure by, this is going to take a while. So this is one of the eyeshadows that I'm concerned I won't be able to hit pan on this year, but if I don't, that's okay. Next is the other MAC one. It's the shade Sumptuous Olive that I have in a single. Keep it in this little palette right here, and I have a clip of what it did look like in my last update, and this is what it looks like right now after 3 uses in the last month and a total of 15 uses in this project. So I feel like I'm very close. It's a nice time of the year to use that eyeshadow. It's a very nice everyday green, like fall makeup look type of eyeshadow. So that's the MAC eyeshadows out of the way, and then I have the Alamar Cosmetics shade that I mentioned that I did not swatch, and it's the shade called El Malacon, and this is what it looks like right now. So you can see the dip in there, but I'm nowhere near being as deep into it as with the shade La Costa that I hit pan in earlier this year. So this is also one that is going to take a lot more use, and I used it 6 times in September. That's pretty good, and a total of 20 uses this year so far. Huda Beauty Topaz Obsessions. I have one shade left in here, and it's the shade that is right here. It's the 4th one, and here I can see the dip. So I don't think I have that many more uses to go before I hit pan, but it will be interesting to see. I used it twice in September, and I've used it a total of 17 times this year. And then I have an eyeshadow from the Huda Beauty Nude Lights palette. This is one that I've been working really hard on. I feel like I've used this one so much. And I did hit pan in another shade in this palette earlier this year. The one I'm working on still is this brown one. You can see there's definitely, I've been using a small like, pointed brush and used it as like smudging my lower lash line quite a bit, and I also use it sometimes with a fluffier brush. So there's definitely some like pinpointing, but also I've been using the whole pan a little bit. And I've used it 13 times in September, and a total of 63 uses. And that is crazy to me. 63 uses on that one. And still no pan, but we'll get there eventually. I will just have to work on it for the last 3 months of the year. I have one more Huda Beauty palette. Apparently I love hitting pan in Huda Beauty eyeshadows. And from this palette I have, first of all, the shade Joy, which is this one right here. And this one I used 4 times in September, and I used it a total of 17 times. And then I have this shade right here, which is called Self Love. I used that one 5 times in September, and I have a total of 22 uses. And I'm focusing my brush up in this corner. Yeah. So we'll see. And then last one from this palette is the shade Cherished, and you can see that pan right there. That is very exciting. So I hit pan after using this one 39 times in total, 5 of those times being in September. So that's the first pan I have. And then from my Too Faced Sparkling Pineapple eyeshadow palette, I really focused on this one this past month. And I had already hit pan in 2 shades from this palette earlier this year. And now I was working on this shade right here, which is the one called Sparkling Pineapple, and as you can see, I did hit pan in that one. It had a huge dip from before I used it the 2 times that I did in September. I only used it twice to hit that pan. And I've only used it a total of 4 times this year. It's not my favorite eyeshadow. It has a very like thick, gritty, it's a very like texture eyeshadow. And it's a very like yellow gold, but 4 times to hit that pan, it's also a very soft eyeshadow. And then last one from this palette is this one, which is actually an eyeshadow that I love. I've used it 3 times in September to hit that pan. Can you even see it? It's just the eyeshadow itself is so reflective. Maybe right there. I used it a total of 14 times to hit pan. It's really hard to see. But I promise you, there is a pan in that one, which means this whole palette is rolling out of this project, and I probably won't be using that one that much for the remainder of the year, but that's fine. So those are all my eyeshadows from Pando's Eyeshadows project, and if I didn't mention, no I didn't, Pando's Eyeshadows was a project created by Alexandra Sjösten, and it was very different from the way that I do it. I just decided to name it Pando's Eyeshadows because that's what I'm doing, but I hand chose all of my eyeshadows in the beginning of the year, and I've just been steadily working on them throughout 2024. So that means I've hit a lot of pans this year, and I don't have that many left to hit my goal of 24 eyeshadow pans in 2024. Now I'm out of breath. Next project is the Expand Those Pans project. I needed to put these together because I didn't have time to have them separately, and also, yeah, you know. So, and also they fit very nicely together because all of these eyeshadow, once I pan on them, I put them in a spreadsheet, and I also put them into my Tiny Decisions app, and I randomly select 3 eyeshadows to work on to expand the pan. And this was a project created by Dora. I'll have her link down below. And I just really loved having a project to work on the eyeshadows that we tend to forget about. Once we pan, it's just like put it in a drawer, never use it again. But Dora changed that, so I'm very thankful for this project. And the 3 eyeshadows that I worked on this month, and for the last couple months, actually most of them, were, first of all, the one that I've had in the longest is from my Huda Beauty Emerald Obsessions, and it is this very dark green right here. So you'll see what it looked like and what it currently looks like, and I feel like I made quite a bit of an expanded pan there. I used it 3 times in July, 5 times in August, 4 times in September for a total of 12 uses. And I have a goal of 10 uses before I can roll it out of the project. Next is from my Huda Beauty Nude Lights Obsession, and it's the 3rd shade, the pink one up here. And I can definitely tell that I've expanded the pan quite a bit. You can see it up here especially, like I'm very close to hitting the side of the pan there. So I did use this one 6 times in August, 5 times in September for a total of 11 uses. I have something in my throat. And then the last one is from my Lethal palette that I have all my Lethal eyeshadows in. It's the eyeshadow right here called Moonbeam. I used this one 6 times in August and 10 times in August and 4 times in September for a total of 14 uses. So hopefully you can see the pan expansion in there. And that means I'm rolling in 3 new eyeshadows. But since I already filmed this video once, I'm going to use the footage from my Tiny Decisions app that I did in that video, which means I already know which eyeshadows I'm getting. But I'm going to put up a screen recording of when I was picking the shades right here. So the first shade I got was also from my MAC Rose Gilded palette, shade Flashbeams, which is nice because I'm already trying to reach for this one to use the green eyeshadow. But it's a kind of boring shade though. And then I got the 5th eyeshadow from my Huda Beauty Topaz Obsessions. And then lastly, I have the shade Midnight Feast also from this palette, which kind of a boring selection, both boring shades, and also it's already palettes that I'm working on, and also all these 3 shades I did hit pan in this project this year, the Pando's Eyeshadows project. So it hasn't been that long since I hit pan on them, and I did use these a lot. So the first one is Flashbeams, which is the inner corner shade. Can you see the pan? Maybe. Yeah, so there's a small pan right there. And I used this one 72 times to hit pan on it, so it took a while, but I can definitely tell that even though the pan is very small, the dip is big. So I think I will be able to expand this pan quite a bit in 10 uses. So that's exciting. It also makes me reach for this palette more. So maybe I'll get some more use on the green one. And then also from the same palette is the shade Midnight Feast. You can very easily see that pan in the black eyeshadow there. And I use this as an eyeliner, and I use a very small brush for that, so I think it'll be nice. And it's been a while since I did black eyeshadow as eyeliner, but I did also use this one a lot this year. I have used it a total of 30 times this year so far. So those two eyeshadows are going to get even more use. And then the last one I got is from my Huda Beauty Topaz Obsessions, and this is actually kind of fun because it's this shade right here that I did hit pan on. Let's see, I hit pan on this one in 30 uses in July. And if you look very closely, you can see that I actually have 2 baby pans in this one. There you see it. So my goal will definitely be to connect these 2 baby pans into one big one in 10 uses or more. And that is everything. That's my expand those pans and my pan those eyeshadows. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you haven't already, click the subscribe button and watch some other videos of mine if you like this type of content. And I will hopefully see you later.